Miami, located on the southeastern coast of Florida, is known for its vibrant culture, beautiful beaches, and dynamic nightlife. As a melting pot of Latin American and Caribbean influences, the city is rich in diversity, making it one of the most colorful and lively destinations in the United States. Its neighborhoods each offer a unique vibe, from the trendy art scene in Wynwood and the historic Art Deco district in South Beach to the Cuban flavor in Little Havana. Miami's tropical climate attracts beachgoers to South Beach and Miami Beach, famous for their turquoise waters, white sand, and buzzing beachside activities. Alongside its natural beauty, the city is home to iconic landmarks, like the Versailles Mansion and the Freedom Tower, as well as upscale shopping districts, such as the Miami Design District and Brickell City Center. The city also has a growing reputation for arts and culture, highlighted by events like Art Basel Miami Beach and numerous galleries and museums, including the Paris Art Museum Miami. With its fusion of cultures, international cuisine, and lively festivals, Miami is a hub for culinary experiences and year-round outdoor activities, making it a popular destination for both adventure and relaxation. Miami is a vibrant, multicultural city on Florida's southeastern coast, renowned for its sun-drenched beaches, thrilling nightlife, and rich cultural scene. Known as the Magic City for its rapid growth and dynamic energy, Miami is a place where the tropics meet urban chic, offering something for everyone, whether you are a beach lover, art enthusiast, or culinary explorer. Miami is synonymous with beautiful beaches. South Beach is iconic, famous for its turquoise waters, golden sand, and lively atmosphere. It's a heaven for sunbathers, swimmers, and socialites alike, with the lively Ocean Drive providing an endless lineup of Art Deco buildings, bustling bars, and outdoor restaurants. Miami Beach extends beyond South Beach, offering a slightly quieter stretch of coast with luxurious resorts and a more laid-back vibe. For families and nature lovers, Key Biscayne and Virginia Key offer pristine shores and outdoor activities like kayaking, snorkeling, and biking. If you are looking for a true escape, nearby Biscayne National Park and Everglades National Park offer scenic trails, wildlife sightings, and immersive experiences in South Florida's natural landscapes. Miami's culture is a unique fusion of Latin American, Caribbean, and American influences. Little Havana is the heart of Cuban culture in the city, with colorful murals, lively music, and the aroma of Cuban coffee filling the air. Walking down Cal Oco 8th Street feels like stepping into Havana, with cigar shops, domino parks, and local art reflecting the neighborhood's Cuban roots. Little Havana's Cal Oco Festival each spring celebrates Latin culture with vibrant music, dance, and street performances. Wynwood is Miami's creative core, known for its colorful street art and the Wynwood Walls, an open-air museum showcasing murals from world-renowned artists. This artsy district is home to galleries, artisanal cafes, and creative spaces, making it a must-visit for art lovers and those looking to experience Miami's edgy side. Miami's food scene is as diverse as its people. The city's culinary offerings span from authentic Cuban sandwiches and Haitian Riet to Peruvian ceviche and fine dining. In Brickell and downtown Miami, you'll find an array of upscale restaurants and international cuisine that reflect the city's cosmopolitan character. Little Haiti offers traditional Caribbean flavors, while Coral Gables boasts farm-to-table restaurants, sophisticated wine bars, and a range of Latin American-inspired dishes. Miami's skyline is a stunning sight, especially at night. The skyscrapers in Brickell and downtown Miami light up the bay, reflecting off the water in a dazzling display. Many rooftop bars and lounges in Brickell offer panoramic views, perfect for watching the city transition from day to night. Nightlife in Miami is legendary. From the high-energy clubs in South Beach to live Latin music in Little Havana and trendy lounges in Wynwood, Miami has a nightlife scene for every taste. Annual events like Art Basel and Miami Music Week draw international crowds, with art shows, music festivals, and pop-up events that keep the city buzzing year-round. Beyond the beaches, Miami is surrounded by natural beauty. The Everglades National Park offers airboat tours through vast wetlands, providing close encounters with alligators, birds, and other wildlife. For a more aquatic adventure, Biscayne National Park is a heaven for snorkelers and divers, with coral reefs, shipwrecks, and crystal clear waters teeming with marine life. Miami's charm lies in its contrasts, where beach culture meets urban sophistication and international influences create a melting pot of art, food, and music. It's a city that embraces change while honoring its roots, offering locals and visitors alike an endless playground of sights, flavors, and experiences. Whether you are exploring its beaches, immersing yourself in its culture, or saving its cuisine, Miami is a city that truly has it all. Miami was named after the Miami River, derived from Miami, the historic name of Lake Okeechobee and the Native Americans who lived around it. Miami is sometimes colloquially referred to as the 305 Magic City, gateway to the Americas, gateway to Latin America, capital of Latin America, and Vice City. The Tequesta tribe occupied the Miami area for around 2000 years before contact with Europeans. A village of hundreds of people, dating to 500-600 BCE, was located at the mouth of the Miami River. It is believed that the entire tribe migrated to Cuba by the mid-1700s. In 1566, Admiral Pedro Menendez de Aviles, Florida's first governor, claimed the area for Spain. A Spanish mission was constructed 1 year later. Spain, and briefly Britain, ruled Florida until it ceded it to the United States in 1821. In 1836, the US built Fort Dallas on the banks of the Miami River as part of their development of the Florida Territory and their attempt to suppress and remove the Seminoles. As a result, the Miami area became a site of fighting in the Second Seminole War. Miami is noted as the only major city in the United States founded by a woman. Julia Tuttle, a local citrus grower and a wealthy Cleveland native, was the original owner of the land upon which Miami was built. In the late 19th century, the area was known as Biscayne Bay Country, and reports described it as a promising wilderness and one of the finest building sites in Florida. The Great Freeze of 1894-1895 hastened Miami's growth, as the crops there were the only ones in Florida that survived. Julia Tuttle subsequently convinced railroad tycoon Henry Flagler to extend his Florida East Coast Railway to the region, for which she became known as the Mother of Miami. Miami was officially incorporated as a city on 28 July 1896, with a population of just over 300. During the early 20th century, migrants from the Bahamas and African Americans constituted 40% of the city's population. When landlords began to rent homes to African Americans around Avenue J, what would later become NW Fifth Avenue, a gang of white men with torches marched through the neighborhood and warned the residents to move or be bombed. Miami prospered during the 1920s with an increase in population and development in infrastructure as northerners moved to the city. The legacy of Jim Crow was embedded in these developments. Miami's chief of police at the time, H. Leslie Quigg, did not hide the fact that he, like many other white Miami police officers, was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. Unsurprisingly, these officers enforced social codes far beyond the written law. Quigg, for example, personally and publicly beat a colored bellboy to death for speaking directly to a white woman. The collapse of the Florida land boom of the 1920s, the 1926 Miami hurricane, and the Great Depression in the 1930s slowed development. When World War II began, Miami became a base for US defense against German submarines due to its prime location on the southern coast of Florida. This brought an increase in Miami's population. 172,172 people lived in the city by 1940. The city's nickname, the Magic City, came from its rapid growth, which was noticed by winter visitors who remarked that the city grew so much from one year to the next that it was like magic. After Fidel Castro rose to power in Cuba following the revolution in 1959, many wealthy Cubans sought refuge in Miami, further increasing the city's population. Miami's national profile expanded dramatically in the 1970s, particularly in 1972. The region hosted both the Democratic and Republican national conventions in the 1972 presidential election. The Miami Dolphins also made history with their undefeated perfect season. The area's educational and cultural institutions also developed significantly in this period, positioning the city to service a larger and increasingly international population. Miami developed new businesses and cultural amenities as part of the New South in the 1980s and 1990s. At the same time, South Florida weathered social problems related to drug wars, immigration from Haiti and Latin America, and the widespread destruction of Hurricane Andrew. Racial and cultural tensions sometimes sparked, but Miami developed in the latter half of the 20th century as a major international, financial, and cultural center. It is the second largest U.S. city with a Spanish-speaking majority after El Paso, Texas, and the largest city with a Cuban-American plurality. Miami and its suburbs are located on a broad plain between the Everglades to the west and Biscayne Bay to the east, which extends from Lake Okeechobee southward to Florida Bay. The elevation of the area averages at around 6 feet 1.8 m above sea level in most neighborhoods, especially near the coast. The highest points are found along the Miami Rock Ridge, which lies under most of the eastern Miami metro. The main portion of Miami is on the shores of Biscayne Bay, which contains several hundred natural and artificial barrier islands, the largest of which contains Miami Beach and South Beach. The Gulf Stream, a warm ocean current, runs northward just 15 miles 24 kilometers off the coast, allowing Miami's climate to stay warm and mild all year. The surface bedrock under the Miami area is called Miami Oolite or Miami Limestone. This bedrock is covered by a thin layer of soil and is no more than 50 feet 15 meters thick. Miami limestone formed as the result of the drastic changes in sea level associated with recent glacial periods, or ice ages. Beginning some 130,000 years ago, the Sangomonian stage raised sea levels to approximately 25 feet 8 meters above the current level. All of southern Florida was covered by a shallow sea. Several parallel lines of reef formed along the edge of the submerged Florida Plateau, stretching from the present Miami area to what is now the Dry Tortugas. The area behind this reef line was a large lagoon. Miami limestone formed throughout the area from the deposition of oolites and the shells of bryozoans. Starting about 100,000 years ago, the Wisconsin glaciation began lowering sea levels, exposing the floor of the lagoon. By 15,000 years ago, the sea level had dropped 300 to 350 feet 90 to 110 meters below the current level. The sea level rose quickly after that, stabilizing at the current level about 4,000 years ago, leaving the mainland of South Florida just above sea level. Beneath the plain lies the Biscayne Aquifer, a natural underground source of fresh water that extends from southern Palm Beach County to Florida Bay. It comes closest to the surface around the cities of Miami Springs and Hialeah. Most of the Miami metropolitan area obtains its drinking water from the Biscayne Aquifer. As a result of the aquifer, it is not possible to dig more than 15 to 20 feet 5 to 6 meters beneath the city without hitting water, which impedes underground construction, though some underground parking garages exist. For this reason, the mass transit systems in and around Miami are elevated or at grade. Most of the western fringes of Miami border the Everglades, a tropical marshland covering most of the southern portion of Florida. Alligators that live in the marshes have ventured into Miami communities and onto major highways. Miami has a tropical monsoon climate Köppen climate classification AM with hot and wet summers and warm and dry winters. Miami's sea level elevation, coastal location, position just above the Tropic of Cancer, and proximity to the Gulf Stream shape its climate. Average winter high temperatures, from December to March, range from 76.4, 80.3 degrees Fahrenheit 24.7, 26.8 degrees Celsius. January is the coolest month with an average daily temperature of 68.2 degrees Fahrenheit 20.1 degrees Celsius. Low temperatures fall below 50 degrees Fahrenheit 10 degrees Celsius about 3 to 4 nights during the winter season, after the passage of cold fronts that produce what little rainfall that falls in the winter. There are two basic seasons in Miami, a hot and wet season from May to October and a warm and dry season from November to April. During the hot and wet season, daily thunder showers occur in the humid unstable air masses. The wet season in Miami is defined as the period during which the average daily dew point temperature is above 70 degree F 21 degrees Celsius. The rainy season typically begins on the first day that occurs, or within a few days later. Daily rainfall in Miami decreases sharply when the average daily dew point falls to 70 degrees Fahrenheit 21 degrees Celsius or below. In some years, a stalled front to the south of the Florida peninsula may cause rains to continue for a few more days. From 1956 to 1997, the date summer began ranged from 16th April to 3rd June, with a median date of 21st May. In those same years, the date summer ended ranged from 24th September to 1st November, with a median date of 17th October. During summer, temperatures range from the mid-80s to low 90s degree F 29, 35 degrees Celsius and are accompanied by high humidity. The heat is often relieved in the afternoon by thunderstorms or a sea breeze that develops off the Atlantic Ocean. Much of the year's 61.9 inches 1,572 millimeters of rainfall occurs during this period. Dew points in the warm months range from 71.9 degrees Fahrenheit, 22.2 degrees Celsius in June to 73.7 degrees Fahrenheit, 23.2 degrees Celsius in August. Historical temperature extremes range from 27 degrees Fahrenheit to 0.8 degrees Celsius on 3rd February 1917 to 100 degree F 38 degrees Celsius on 21st July 1942. While Miami has never recorded snowfall at any official weather station since records have been kept, snow flurries fell in some parts of Miami on 19 January 1977. The coldest daytime maximum temperature on record is 45 degrees Fahrenheit 7. In December 1989 during the December 1989 United States cold wave. The coldest maximum temperature average between 1991 and 2020 stood at 59 degrees Fahrenheit 15 degrees Celsius. The warmest overnight low measured is 84 degrees Fahrenheit 29 degrees Celsius on several occasions. The stability of summer overnight lows is underlined by the mean maximum annual overnight low of just 1 degree lower. Hurricane season officially runs from 1st June to 30th November, although hurricanes can develop beyond those dates. The most likely time for Miami to be hit is during the peak of the Cape Verde season, which is mid-August to the end of September. Although tornadoes are uncommon in the area, one struck in 1925 and another in 1997. Around 40% of homes in Miami are built upon floodplains and are considered as flood risk zones. Miami falls within the Department of Agriculture's 10B11 a plant hardiness zone. Miami is one of the major coastal cities and major cities in the United States that will be most affected by climate change. Globally, it is one of the most at-risk cities, according to a 2020 report by Resources for the Future. Global sea level rise, which in Miami is projected to be 21 inches to 40 inches by 2070, will lead to an increase in storm damage, more intense flooding, and will threaten Miami's water supply. Other potential impacts of climate change include higher hurricane wind speeds and severe thunderstorms, which can bring about hail or tornadoes. Some protective efforts are in place, including nourishing beaches and adding protective barriers, raising buildings and roads that are vulnerable, and restoring natural habitats such as wetlands. Miami Beach has invested $500 million to protect roads, buildings, and water systems. Real estate prices in Miami already reflect the increase in prices for real estate at a higher elevation within the city compared to real estate at a lower elevation. Tourism is one of the Miami's largest private sector industries, accounting for more than 144,800 jobs in Miami-Dade County. Miami's frequent portrayal in music, film, and popular culture has made Miami and its landmarks recognizable worldwide. In 2016, it attracted the second highest number of foreign tourists of any city in the United States, after New York City, and is among the top 20 cities worldwide by international visitor spending. More than 15.9 million visitors arrived in Miami in 2017, adding $26.1 billion to the economy. With a large hotel infrastructure and the newly renovated Miami Beach Convention Center, Miami is a popular destination for annual conventions and conferences. Some of the most popular tourist destinations in Miami include South Beach, Lincoln Road, Bayside Marketplace, downtown Miami, and Brickell City Center. The Art Deco district in Miami Beach is reputed as one of the most glamorous in the world for its nightclubs, beaches, historical buildings, and shopping. Annual events such as the Miami Open, Art Basel, the Winter Music Conference, the South Beach Wine and Food Festival, and Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week Miami attract millions to the metropolis every year.